This is Bali. And this is also Bali. What's your idea of paradise? I remember perfectly my very first sunrise in Bali. I was woken up by the singing of Joe. That rooster I had to name so I wouldn't want to cook him every day for the next 2 months. When I opened the door, a sweet scent of incense and frangipani filled my senses. And when I stepped outside, a huge smile greeted me. There hasn't been a single day in Bali that I haven't felt that genuine warmth every morning. However, I've come across people disappointed with the island many times. People who come thinking that all of Bali is an Instagram photo. They travel thousands of miles looking for a paradise in an exotic place, but what they really want to find is a sunnier version of their own home, with more comforts and the same habits. And of course, when they get here, they realize not only that it's a very different culture, but also a poor country doing what it can without losing their smile, surrounded by a lush jungle full of life. Because, of course, having a villa in the middle of a rice field sounds idyllic, but the dream disappears when they realize that there are usually mice in the cultivated fields, that beaches, unless constantly cleaned by human hands, get covered in seaweed, branches, and leaves. Or that those perfect places they're looking for first have to be built, and that means noise, and even more traffic in streets already collapsed. Many people have asked me if Bali has truly been lost, and if it's now only focused on Western tourists chasing paradise. And I will tell them yes and no. In fact, there are two Balis, and it all comes down to a single question. What is paradise to you? In Western culture, the concept of paradise is very much tied to the idea of a perfect place, where there are no problems, no pain, and no discomfort. A space where we don't have to make an effort, or think, or suffer. And nowadays, it also includes taking that trendy photo to post on social media. That paradise shown on Instagram and other social networks is associated with pristine white sand beaches, crystal clear water, or luxury resorts with infinity pools and colorful cocktails. So yes, Bali is constantly building that kind of place for Western tourists to be happy, and growing in a fast and uncontrolled way. But of course, there is also the real Bali. I think many of the people who get disappointed with the island do so because they want to escape their reality temporarily. And when they arrive, they discover that for many others, reality is even harsher than their own. And they get upset because their vacation doesn't look like the one they had imagined. However, in a holistic sense, paradise is not a place, but a state of being, a feeling of deep peace and fulfillment. Like, for example, when you are with your favorite person and time flies and you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's not a perfect space, free of problems or flaws, but rather a place where you accept those imperfections and find beauty in them. In my opinion, the beauty of Bali lies precisely in its extremes. If there's something that truly fascinates me, it's how they manage to create beauty in the middle of chaos. One moment you're stuck in heavy traffic, dodging potholes, rocks, dogs, and trash. And suddenly, you find yourself in a peaceful garden full of plants and flowers, where you hear the birds sing and no longer remember the sound of motorbikes. A whole analogy for life itself, don't you think? How in the middle of our own chaos, we can always create a comforting oasis. You already know I like to look beyond appearances and learn. I believe that in understanding others lies the key to respect and to real human connection. To understand that the piles of garbage exist because they still don't have a waste system, nor space on the island for it. Or that they use flowers in their offerings to the gods because when you love someone, you give them flowers. To arm yourself with patience when hearing the exaggerated volume of a ceremonious chanting. Because you know they are saying goodbye to their loved ones, and that it's something they have waited years to do because it's too costly for their families. I know all of this is my own perception, but tell me, what would fill you more? A night singing and dancing on a stage with an Indonesian rock band with a dog sleeping next to the drummer and a spontaneous group of new friends? Or a beautiful photo of yourself with a scenic backdrop for which you had to wait in line, but which looks perfect on your Instagram feed? No, Bali is not always the paradise of the pictures, but its landscapes remain stunning. And while the cultural shock of certain customs or habits might not feel idyllic either, I have never found greater warmth than in the people here. No, I don't think Bali is paradise, but I do believe the Indonesian people have taught me that we can find paradise if we choose to see it. Smiling in the face of adversity, honoring the processes, trusting in the life that will come, being patient, being aware that there are things you can't control and that happen because they must. And, in the meantime, sharing the best of ourselves with those close to us, sitting down to admire sunset alone or in good company, and realizing that we all can learn from each other, from the heart, with curiosity and respect. So, if you take away one thing from this video, I hope it's this. I believe that paradise is not a place, but a way of seeing the world. A way to go beyond the photo, embody the experience, and accept that in the imperfect lies the beauty of the unique. And that there is magic in the real and authentic if you choose to find it. I have learned that, in my own case, true paradise is not in Bali, but in the ability to see Bali just as it is. And that, I believe, is the most beautiful part of the journey. What do you think? What is your idea of paradise? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.